So before I actually talk for what actually is genomic organization, I will be discussing what is molecular biotechnology. So molecular biotechnology is what it is actually the utilization of laboratory techniques. And all these laboratory techniques means different instrumentations and different procedures are to be followed. And it is to be followed for the study and modification of nucleic acid and proteins, because if nucleic acid and proteins get modified, then we can look after the modification of certain areas like human and animal health, agriculture, and the environment. But now very first question that must be striking into your mind is like molecular biotechnology, from where it emerged. So actually molecular biotechnology is sum up of many fields like molecular biology, microbiology, biochemistry, immunology, genetics, and cell biology. So all these areas of research, when converged, they resulted into the formation of a new discipline of science, and that new discipline of science is said to be molecular biotechnology. Now, why we need to study the molecular biotechnology? Because as I earlier said, molecular biotechnology is the utilization of laboratory techniques. And you know, those techniques are actually utilized to develop and to improve the already existing drugs, vaccines, therapies, diagnostic tests, so that human as well as animal health that could be improved. So in agriculture, we are not only limited up to the study of plants only. We have to learn about animal health also. So this molecular biotechnology is involving the utilization and improvement of laboratory techniques for the development and for the modification of both animal as well as plant health. See, further if we talk for its application, see, it is not only like it is involved in the human modification of proteins and nucleic acids only. No, it's not like that. See, it is also involved in the it has also the applications in plant and animal agriculture, then in the aquaculture. It is also being utilized in chemical and textile manufacturing, then it is also used in forestry and in food processing. Thereafter, it is providing excellent employment opportunities also. So instead one works over the modification and utilization of nucleic acids and proteins only, it is also giving employment to the number of peoples. Next is this is all about say little bit introduction about molecular biotechnology. Now our main topic is like we need to go through the study of genomic organizations of eukaryotes and prokaryotes. But before I actually introduce you all to the genomic organization of eukaryotes and prokaryotes, it is very important, like you must be familiar what is genetic material, right? So before I actually introduce you all to the genomic organization of eukaryotes and prokaryotes, we will discuss what actually is meant by the DNA. So DNA is what? DNA is found in all the plants, in animals, prokaryotes, and some viruses also. And everyone knows like this is the structure of the DNA. This is the structure of the DNA, and it is existing in, if we talk for its occurrence, then DNA exists in all the plants, in all the animals, prokaryotes, and even if also it is present in viruses also. The nature of genetic material is like it is double standard DNA. It is double standard DNA, and in plants and animals, the nature is like DNA is only present except some viruses. And if we talk for the TMV, influenza viruses, then in that case, RNA is acting as a genetic material. So it is not always like if we talk for the genetic material, then that is DNA only. No, genetic material can be DNA or it can be RNA. But when we are talking for the plants, animals, then the main genetic material is DNA itself. So this is the structure of the DNA. The DNA is consisting of the two strands. One is extending from 5 prime to 3 prime, and another is extending from 3 prime to 5 prime. So next we will talk for chemical nature of the DNA. You know, a DNA is there. As we know, like a DNA is there, that is consisting of two strands, both of which are in the anti-parallel direction. That is, one is from 5 prime to 3 prime. Then another is 5 prime to 3 prime. This is the structure of the DNA. But what is in between the DNA? Because if there is the existence of only two strands, then these two strands may collapse. So,
Excuse me,
yeah,
मैम थोड़ा डिस्टर्ब आ रहा है, वो साउंड अच्छे से नहीं आ रहे मैम.
Prapesh, okay, don't worry. I will be forwarding you this video link also. Okay, there it will be okay. Am I audible? Am I audible?
मैम
Not
yes
audible?
मैम.
Okay. So I was talking for the chemical nature of the DNA. It is consisting of four nitrogenous bases. One is purine and another is pyrimidine. So I was talking here. I was talking here that if there is nothing present in between the strands, these strands may get collapsed. So to avoid the collapsing of the strand, there are purines which are connected with pyrimidines. In that case, adenine is connected to thymine. Here is only the presence of two bonds, and guanine is binder to cytosine through the triple bond. So the composition of genetic material is like it is consisting of four nitrogenous bases, and four nitrogenous bases, those four nitrogenous bases are further divided into two categories: purines and pyrimidines. So gene is what? Gene is a sequence of four bases, and gene function is they actually result into the formation of proteins. So overall, they control the infinite variety of life. See, this is the chemical nature of the DNA. Like the DNA is consisting of purines and pyrimidines. Purines, the name is short and it will be consisting of double ring structure, and pyrimidines are the one that is consisting of uh, single uh, single ring structure. So this is thymine, and cytosine is purine, and adenine, and these are the pyrimidine and these are the purines. Now, where is the DNA found? DNA is found in eukaryotes and prokaryotes both. But in the eukaryotes, it is found in the nucleus, in the chloroplast, and in the mitochondria. And when we talk for the prokaryotes, it is dispersed in the cytoplasm. is the chemical composition of the DNA. DNA is consisting of three components. Very first is it is consisting of 5 carbon ring. Then it is consisting of, this is 5 carbon ring. This one that is known as ribose. And this 5 carbon ring is connected to nitrogenous bases. This one that may be either double ring structure or it may be single ring structure. So, and the third component of the DNA is a phosphate group. This one phosphate group. This is the phosphate group. So altogether, this DNA is consisting of 3 components. This is 5 carbon ring. You must be thinking how it is called, why it is called as 5 carbon ring. So see here, this is the carbon position. This corner is carbon position 1. This is the carbon position 2. This is carbon position 3. This is 4. And this is 5 carbon. Because 5 carbons are present in this ring, so this is said to be 5 carbon ring. This 5 carbon ring is further. This 5 carbon ring is further connected to, on one hand it is connected to nitrogenous base, and on the other hand it is connected to the phosphate group. When I say it is connected to the nitrogenous, when I say it is connected to the nitrogenous base, then this base is of 2 types. As I already discussed, bases can be either purines, either pyrimidines. When we talk for the purines, then it is a single structure, single ring structure, and pyrimidine is double ring structure. So single ring structure is, this is single ring structure. This is single ring structure. So this one carbon is connected to the nitrogenous base, and this base can be either this one or this base can be either this one, right? So this is the classification, and this 5th carbon is connected to the phosphate group, and this all together is said to be the DNA, right? So this is the chemical composition of DNA. So this is the elaborated structure. See, this is the 5 carbon ring, this is the nitrogenous base, and this is the phosphate group. When we talk for this 5 carbon ring, so these are the elements positions, like the oxygen, the 5 carbon ring that is attached here, it is said to be deoxyribose. Deoxy, because this position, carbon second position, normally there used to be the presence of oxygen over here, but since there is no oxygen present here, so this is said to be deoxyribose sugar. Now see, there are 2 terms. One is nucleoside and another is nucleotide. Nucleoside is what? When this pentose sugar is connected to base, that means out of the 3 components, when there is the presence of only nucleoside is when there is the presence of only 2 groups. Normally there used to be 3 groups, but when there are only 2 groups, that is this sugar, and when there is only the presence of base, then the term that is said to be nucleoside. But when nucleoside is combined with the phosphate, that means when there is the presence of 3, base, sugar, and phosphate, it is said to be nucleotide. Here more information can be given about nucleoside and nucleotide. That means this is the sugar and this is base. Sugar and base combination is said to be nucleoside, but when along with the nucleoside there is the attachment of phosphate group, then it is said to be nucleotide. Now see, this is again and again I'm putting the stress on the structure of purines and pyrimidines. Purine name is small, so you can remember it is double ring structure, and in pyrimidine like name is bigger, so it is single cell structure, single ring structure. Because we are to discuss today the genomic organization, so it is very important, like you all are made familiar with the structure of the DNA, and you know The structure of the DNA was given for the very first time by the scientist named Chargaff. And since he gave the different rules for the formation of structure, so it was known as Chargaff equivalence rule. This was given by the Chargaff in 1948. And what he said in the different organism there is the presence of different types of DNA. And when we talk for the different types of the DNA, then in the every DNA, whatever amount of purine will be present, it will be equal in number to the amount of pyrimidine. For example, if I take the example of adenine, then adenine is equal to thymine, and the amount of guanine will be equal to cytosine. In another way, I can say the ratio of adenine to thymine is equal to the ratio of guanine and cytosine, and the third is if I take the ratio of these two, then these must be equal to the 1. So DNA molecules, they are isolated from different organisms, and actually what DNA is present, it is no more influenced by the environmental conditions or the growth stage or by the age. This is the physical nature of the DNA. See, as I have told you, the physical nature of the DNA is it is consisting of two strands. One is extending from 5' to 3' direction, and another from the 3' to 5' direction. And this is the central axis, right? So both the strands, they are coiling around the central axis. Now, these two strands are connected by the hydrogen bonds. One is like, as I already said, purines are connected to pyrimidines and pyrimidines are connected to purines. When we talk for the adenine and thymine linkage, then the two are connected by the two hydrogen bonds. But when we talk for the guanine and cytosine, there is the presence of three hydrogen bonds, and both the strands, they are running in anti-parallel direction. See, this will make you more visualized the structure of the DNA. This is sugar, this is phosphate group, and on the inner side there is the presence of hydrogen bonds that is existing between purines and pyrimidines. So adenine is always connected to thymine by 2 bonds, and guanine is connected to cytosine by 3 bonds, and vice versa. That means whether we talk for adenine thymine or thymine adenine, there will always be the presence of 2 bonds only. Now I come to my main topic, that is genomic organization of prokaryotes. When we talk for the genomic organization of prokaryotes, then let's see the structure first. This is the genomic organization of prokaryotes. That is, it is said to be double standard circular structure. This is double standard circular structure, and this double standard, if you can see, there are 2 strands, and the 2 strands are coiled around each other to form a circular structure. When this coiling is taking place to the more extent, then in that case, when coiling and supercoiling takes place, then this is the structure that is formed, that is consisting of 8-like structure, and this is the part where overcrossing is taking place, right? So I come back to the information of genomic organization of prokaryotes. In almost all the prokaryotes living the viruses, DNA is organized to form a closed structure. As I have shown you in the picture, so DNA is organized. Otherwise, what structure I was letting you know, I was telling you this used to be the structure of the DNA. But right now, in case of the prokaryotes, what is happening out? Both are coiling around each other, but the coiling is taking place in the way that there is being the formation of circular structure. The 2 strands are coiling around each other, and it is resulting into the formation of closed circular. Now the place from where binding took place, and there will be certain like joint will be formed there, and it is said to be nick. So the 2 strands of helix, they are sealed with each other, because these are the two strands. Two strands, they are not open. They have to be sealed together if they are to result into the formation of circle. And this closed circular, that means it is consisting of two unbroken complementary strands.
के बात है कौशिक?
ऑन ही थियो